we're electrical beings. We need that. So
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna plan better for the next quarantine. I'm gonna plan better for the next quarantine. The next pandemic, I'm gonna be like, yo.
Well, like, even for me, like, I just broke up with my boyfriend, and I'm like, fuck.
You gotta smarten up.
Not
like this ain't the time.
I know. Oh my gosh. All right. Are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm good.
As ready as we're gonna be.
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right. Go.
What are we gonna talk about? I don't even know. Do you have a topic?
Check in with how we're doing. We're talking about dating in quarantine, remember?
Dating in quarantine. We fell in love in a COVID place.
Oh my god.
Fell in love in the COVID place.
Miss Rona is our
notorious Rona.
All right, so we are live. I see us on here. Let me turn this volume down.
Air horns. Air horns.
What? Oh, Superstore. Do you watch Superstore? What? Do you watch Superstore?
No. Should I?
Yes. Should I? What? Oh my gosh! And we're on season 5, so you could catch up. But
is it on Netflix?
No, it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay, I'll get me some Hulu.
So
okay.
We are live. We got 2 people on right now. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. I did not have enough time or creativity to come up with something more creative. And for anyone that knows me, no, I don't like to use term Wind Down Wednesday. Everyone uses that, but whatever. We're here. We're drinking wine. We're being basic. We got 9 people on. That's amazing. If you're here, you know how it is. Drop a comment.
How is it?
Say hello.
How is it?
How is it?
Say
Drop
hello.
a comment. Say hello.
Say hi.
If you're watching,
hearts. I love heart emojis.
Give us some
love
hearts.
It.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, give us a hi. Drop a comment. And if you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. It's been a day. So we've got our wine. I hope you've got your wine with us. If you've got your wine with us, if you've got wine as well, let us know what you're drinking. Again, if you're here, you know my name. I'm Amelia. This is Felix. Self-Love in Quarantine Conversation Series. What are you drinking today? I'm drinking Argentinian 2017 Malbec.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Look at you.
Fancy.
Okay. Malbec.
I love Malbec. I love it because it's so good. I just love it. I used to be a Pinot Noir. Well, I'm still a Pinot Noir girl. But Malbec is like a little bit more something. And Malbec from Argentina is even more of a something. So
Do you prefer more dry or sweet?
Sweet.
I know that's
but not too sweet. I don't like dry. Dry makes me feel, I don't know, I feel like I'm drinking mold. So it's been a day. If y'all are drinking wine with us, let us know what kind of wine you're drinking. I'll be monitoring the comments as best as I can.
A lot of people got their stimulus check today.
Oh,
so what's up with that? Whoop whoop.
Did you get yours?
I got mine. I wasn't even mad. I was like, all right, I could do something with this.
My bank account has been stimulated.
Yeah, I feel like my bank account has been stimulated. And that's it. Like nothing else has been stimulated, and I feel like that's an issue.
Some stimulation.
Oh, man.
I know I need some stimulation. And
I'll get some mental stimulation. I'll get probably some mental stimulation from this conversation, but other than that, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, at least people living alone, I haven't hugged someone in more than a month.
Me neither.
It's, and I think as human beings, I think it's a need. We're electrical beings. Touching, it's actually a love language. You know what I'm saying? So
it's my love language.
for me, I can say like I definitely, the last person who touched me was my barber. And it was my head, like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But there is light on the other side of the tunnel, right? So on the 19th of Sunday, we're going to be participating in virtual online dating, right? So how do you start making connections, right? Because this is going to end at some point, right? So we can't be a victim to our circumstance. So how are you going to how are you going to acknowledge where you are and then do something about it, right? So I think that's a great step. I already been to one virtual online mixer, and it was fantastic. I had a blast.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to this one. What about you?
I like, honestly, so my love language is quality time and physical touch, and my physical touch emotional tank is freaking empty.
It's on E.
It's on E. Like,
it's like check engine lights.
Yeah, those of you that know I practice sensual movement. And I'm telling you, like, I'm rolling around on these floors and on these pillows. And I'm just like, please. I have 4 pillows. And I try to, like, stack them up around me, so I could feel like I'm being held or something. But it's not the same as human skin.
No.
But and also too, just like to update everyone, if you've been watching, this is our 3rd conversation of the series, and the last conversation we had, I talked about my family member who just passed away. And honestly, when we had that conversation, that was on Monday, I had literally just found out a few hours before, so I was just in shock at that time. But that evening and definitely yesterday was really, really rough. And this is the awful thing about this is, like, people are dying and we can't even grieve normally the way that we would. We can't go see each other. We can't hug each other. They had a beautiful procession. Oh my gosh, we have so many people watching. Danielle, Banji, Jane, Corazon, Nadia. What's up, everybody? Say hello. We can't even touch each other. Everyone's got masks on. We can't hug each other. It was just really, really sad. And I was a mess yesterday. I was just so starving for that connection, for that attention, that love, that connection. And actually, this is a really good topic to start off with, because we're kind of talking about dating in quarantine, whether you're in a relationship or you're single right now. This quarantine, this moment in time is really highlighting, putting a microscope on all your shit in relationships. So whether you're single and living alone or not, or you're living with your partner, or you have a partner but you don't live with, whatever your situationship is, this quarantine is really highlighting, putting under a microscope all of your shit, all of my shit, all of Felix's shit, all of your shit. And you have to look at it, right? And so I was really feeling just all kinds of anxiety and emotions, and I was calling myself needy. I was like, I'm being so needy. I'm being so desperate. And I don't know if you've ever felt that. Like, that's not a good feeling to have. And I'm sure anyone is like, and I was judging myself so hard. I was just like, I need attention. I need someone to talk to. And I felt that feeling in my chest of, like, anxiety and just that icky desperation, right? Hey, Myra.
So you were judging yourself for having a need that is quite natural to have as a human being, right? Yeah. That's
especially given what I'm going through with the grief of losing my cousin. But even if that didn't happen, I mean, I was feeling it this weekend before I found out about it. And I was judging myself for that. And it was so beautiful because I was talking to a girlfriend and I was not talking very nicely about myself. I was like, I'm so desperate, I'm so needy. And what she said to me was really, really beautiful. She was like, are you needy or are you needing?
Right.
And I was
Wow.
like, whoa.
Right.
Okay, life coach.
All right. No, because it's so true, because we all have needs, right? So, and also it's we all have needs, but then we also aren't clear on those needs, so we judge ourselves, right? So we don't we yeah, like it's so important to have your when you're clear about your needs, then you're clear about what it is that you need in order to have them met.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I was mostly feeling the discomfort. And because we're all in isolation and in quarantine, I didn't have available to me the usual distractions that I probably could have, like going out or whatever. I just had to be with myself. And as the universe would have it, there was like a pocket of time where like none of my friends were available, like no one was answering my texts or my messages. And so I was like crawling out of my skin and just feeling like, somebody love me, please. Like,
that's when when the loneliness hits at its peak, where you're like, what the hell's everyone doing? Yeah, like I know what you
like Mindy Kaling's book is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me. and
you're
I
like,
felt
what the
that.
hell?
I really, really did. And I feel like a lot of people could relate to that, because part of the way that my mind and my heart works is like rejection is always like the reaction. Like if someone's not available, like I just feel so rejected. Like if I drop my phone, I'll feel rejected by my phone. I'll be like, my phone hates me. And that's kind of my thing. I don't know if that happens to you, but
I drop my phone at least 5 times a day. So
your phone obviously hates you.
Yeah, in a sense, but I don't take it personal anymore, because it's like, all right, you do whatever you want to do.
No, I take, as much as I like to say I don't give a fuck and I don't take anything personally, I take a lot of stuff personally. And but I think the beautiful thing about that is like I can be aware of it and then like figure it out. So I was taking it so personally, and but when my friend asked me that question, and so I ask anyone watching this, like, are you needy or are you needing? And I think especially we talk a lot about Rachel. Oh my God, Wayona. We learned one Chilean word, and now we're like obviously Chilean. So I think in our society, we talk a lot about like the conditioning of society, right? And we're conditioned to judge ourselves for needing basic things like connection, attention, love, physical touch. And I think especially like if we really like somebody or just really like want their time, it can feel really vulnerable. Oh my gosh, Olivia, oh my God, all the people. It can feel really vulnerable and really raw and like feel like emotionally naked. And then we judge that, or at least I do. And I'm like,
yeah.
So I don't know. Do you feel that way?
Well, I don't know, right? So I think that we put so much into like looking cool to like, I like this person, but I'm not gonna hit them up. I'm gonna see if they hit me up to see like, to gauge. And it's like, yo, if you like each other, just holler at just talk, right? I hate the idea that like, oh yeah, you like her, you gotta wait like a couple
like 3 days.
Like and then what happens is if I like reach out too early, or I seem thirsty, quote unquote, right? Like, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not gonna go anywhere, but at least give me the opportunity to get to know you, because then I can make a decision that's not based on like it makes there's no it's not sensical. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the reason this came up was because when we on our first conversation on Sunday, you mentioned that being alone right now, living alone right now, and kind of being isolated for the most part has you thinking, okay, I really want a partnership, and this is the time for me to really focus on who do I want to be as a partner and who do I want as a partner. And so even though you're alone and unable to really go out and meet and date, it's like, this is the time for me to really decide who I want to be as a partner. And those are things that I always think about, because as a lot of people know, I'm obsessed with talking about dating and relationships, and I'm always thinking about that. And to what you're saying is, I don't want to date someone who is gonna think I'm thirsty because I texted them too soon. I would want to date someone that's emotionally available enough that they can be like, I'm so happy you texted. I missed you too, or I really wanted to talk to you too. And if someone's thinking like, oh, you're thirsty, I don't know, it's probably not a match, because I don't want that kind of thinking anymore. But I feel like a lot of people still think that way. So it's like, how do we, I think a lot of people think that way, but I do think a lot of people are just starving for that connection and love and openness. But I just think these rules that we place upon ourselves, it's just dumb.
I like that. So
Vincent, people are watching, people are liking, people are
let me, I love being alone. Like, being alone has been great, especially because my energy, I've been able to manage my own energy, and I haven't been. So I'd rather be alone than be with someone who alters my energy, where I'm like, get this person out of my fucking face. So
as you pull the string, as you go,
I'm like, I'm screwed. No, I actually had a great conversation with a friend not too long ago, and we were talking about how, like, some dudes just ghost, and like, well, that's, and like how some men wouldn't have the courage to just step up and be like, I'm not feeling it. And
girls ghost too, though. Women ghost too. This is not a gender thing. Yeah.
Right. So and so what and it's very simple, right? Because you don't want that kind of person. So you don't need to yearn for the affection of someone who isn't present to even have the common decency to have a conversation with it. It's not even necessary. Like, that person is showing you who they are, and just take it as it is and move on.
Yeah. But you know, it's simple in theory, but I do know that it is hard in practice to move on, because the truth is there's a lot of like layers underneath that, right? So we're talking about how there's this ability, this opportunity for us, whether you're in a relationship or not, to anyone watching, right? If you're in a relationship or not, whatever it is, this is an opportunity for you to really reflect and decide, who do you want to be as a partner and who do you want as a partner, right? And like if someone is ghosting, then they're not emotionally available in the way to at least have a conversation and just be like, hey, you know, it's not a match, or I'm not really feeling this. But also, if you're consistently attracting people who ghost you.
That's where I was going.
Well, that's why we're going on the same road. We're connected here, but right, so that's something for you to look at. So yeah, what do you have to say about that?
No, that's exactly where I was going, right? So you might want to look at what is the impulse that you have that has you attracted to come back to that same situation, because until you it wouldn't show up if there wasn't a need for you to receive something from it,
or like the law of attraction to that kind of situation.
So for me, I know that I think I said it before, like when I meet someone and I like them, I like them. To me, it's like, this is the person, like, and it just puts so much, like, I just put so much energy on that person that if and this is crazy that I'm sharing this. It's crazy that I'm sharing this because it's like, oh shit, like, people are getting to see like this me.
No, we need to see.
Yeah, but it's, and you know, it's something that I've been working on, where I notice myself going so hard, and it's like, well, what am I really saying about me? Like, I'm willing to give up myself to be in a partnership, right? Like, this person doesn't text me, this person doesn't get back to me, this person doesn't call me, and like, it alters my state where I'm like, I'm lethargic, I'm in bed, like, I don't really want to do anything. I don't feel motivated. So, and this is something that I've been working with, and this is why this is one of the reasons
guys feel like this too? I never knew.
So this is the reason why I'm single. You know what I'm saying? It's because I get to learn how to be with my, like, that type of energy that I put on someone gets to be put into me, you know, because, well, I get to love myself that way, right? Because it doesn't, I believe that it doesn't matter how much someone can love you if you can't perceive any more love than you can give yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's the gospel truth, church.
And so I've like gotten into these patterns of hitting, you know, these people up, these girls up, like, and trying to create a connection where it's, if the connection is not, if it's not a two-way connection, it's not a connection. You know? And it's I said this to my friend earlier, like, you wouldn't want to create a situation where the person, like, you kind of like coerce the person to be with you. You kind of like sell that person to be with you, because then what you've done is it's just, if you wouldn't want a person, you wouldn't want to create a situation where the person doesn't have the freedom of choice to choose you, right? So love, for me at least, is meant to set you free, right? So it's two individuals in a partnership, right, where you guys grow and explore, right? So even the idea of like realizing, like
Shelly.
look, even the idea of wanting to become the person you want to be in a relationship, it's something that happens. There's a discovery to it, right? So there's a process to it, and it happens within the relationship. So you can have whatever ideas you have, but that person is gonna bring things up in you that are new. It's unexplored, right? So,
well,
and
that's to that point, I think, because I work with a lot of singles who want to be in relationships, and I'm always like, you know, for you, when you're single, when someone's single, it's like the relationship is like this holy grail, or they make it out to be this holy grail oftentimes, and this like end goal. And what I say is like, yeah, but like when you get in the relationship, like giddy the fuck up. Like that's just the beginning. And so that's why I love what you said about you're spending this time to figure out who you want to be and what you want, because that's a really good way to spend the time, especially if you want a partnership, because then there can be a resonance and a recognition if and when you meet that person, and you don't have to wait until quarantine's over to meet that person.
And I'm clear, and I gotta tell you, this shit is hitting.
No, can I tell you, like, I don't know if everyone saw, but you filled that up to the top, okay? And
then I had like 5 sips, and then I refilled it, and I'm about to refill it right now because
it's hitting. Who's drinking wine with us? Comment below. Tell us what you're drinking, and if you're not, go get something. Go. You're about to drop some major knowledge. I'm gonna refill too.
I lost it. It happens. I'll get it back. Oh, power wine. All right.
we were talking about ghosting and like you're hitting people up, and then we were talking about how if you're constantly attracted
Ghosting,
to or attracting people who aren't
here's the
giving you
thing.
emotionally what you need, then that's that says something about there's like a disconnection with your self-love, right? That's kind of where where we were going.
So
Erica,
I said it.
what are you drinking? Tell us what
I
you're
said it before. I said it before. And I said it a while back. I'm not looking for someone. I'm attracting someone.
Ooh!
Right? So, yeah, son.
Heart.
I think for a lot of us, and I think a lot of people find it within the relationship, is that another person can't fulfill you. They can't fill you up. If you're not willing to fill yourself up. And through this isolation, listen, there have been times where, and through my life, there have been times where I wanted to love myself. I wanted to look at myself like someone who is desirable, someone who someone will like, right? So, but I couldn't do any of that if I wasn't willing to look at myself in that way too. So it has been a journey of like looking myself in the mirror, and not just looking at myself, but seeing myself, right? Seeing what people see, because people see greatness, people see a loving person, people see kindness and someone who's funny, right? So the thing is, when you look,
EJ.
you will find whatever you look for, you will find. So if you look for your flaws, you will find your flaws. You will look, you will look, you will look at that, side thing, that little fatty and the underarm, and you will look. But when you start to look for things, when you start to look at things that are beautiful, right? And it doesn't have to be a particular thing, but when you start looking at yourself beautiful, you will start doing things that will continue.
Yeah.
Right. So I love what Abraham Hicks says. You can at any point choose to either criticize or praise something. At any time, you can either criticize or praise. So whenever I'm criticizing, whenever I'm being petty, whenever I'm being a dick, whenever I'm being an asshole, I'm like, yo, chill. How can I look to praise that, right? So what can I see, right? So, yo, your eyebrows are on fleek. Like, you look, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, your pecs are dope. Like, you have some dope ass whatever. It doesn't matter. Because when you start praising things, you're gonna find more things to praise. When you start criticizing things, you're gonna find more things to criticize. And that's just that's that's just how things work, because your consciousness will run on it will create momentum. And you shout outs to momentum. Heart. You will create momentum in the things that it's when you start seeing. It's the same idea of like scarcity and abundance. When you start looking at the things that are beautiful in you
and abundant,
you're gonna create more opportunities to see things that are beautiful in you.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing with myself.
And in the same vein, it's like, a lot of people, especially like I said, I work with a lot of singles, and I always hear like, I want a partner who does all of these things. I want a partner who adores me. I want a partner who's down for me. I want a partner who grows with me. I want a partner who shows up for me. I want a partner. And I'm like,
but do you show up for you?
Exactly. Do you adore you? Show up for you? Do you adore yourself? How's your self-talk? One of my clients specifically was like, is a words of affirmation person, and they want a partner who talks to them and adores them and like affirms them. And the first exercise we did was like, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your self-talk? Where 10 is 100% of the things you say to yourself are positive, and 0 is 100% of the things you say to yourself are negative. And I was like, don't even answer that right now, but from now until our next session, just notice. And whether it's about yourself or not, what are the thoughts and the words that come out of your mouth? What percentage is positive and what percentage is negative? And by the next session, they said, well, they were like, damn, like 90% is negative. And I was like, yeah. So that's what you're attracting.
And even for people that are like, it doesn't matter where you are. Like some of it just flies on. Some of the stuff flies under the radar. Mm-hmm. And like, if you aren't aware of it, you're like, damn, I suck. And it's like, oh, you know, like, and that's like surface level. I'm not even giving a true one of mine, but.
Well, sometimes it's not out loud. It's like there's a program running in the back of your mind that's like consistently negative about yourself, potentially. Yeah. And like, it's no wonder that whatever, like as within, so without, or as without, so whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. And
okay.
So, like there's.
That's next level shit.
No, and so it's like whatever we see out there in the world, especially in relationships, it's a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. You know, and I actually have one of my favorite stories to tell is like when I was turning 30. And so I remember I was 29 and I was like 3 to 5 months away from my 30th birthday. And I started to feel this like down dip of like sadness. And even I remember my cousin, she was like, girl, you got a big birthday coming up. So like, what are we doing? You know? And I just was like, man, I don't know what to do. And she was like, well, we can do whatever you want. And it was when she said whatever you want, I was like, it hit me that the reason why I had this down dip was because it was a realization that a dream of mine wasn't going to come true, because I didn't realize that subconsciously what I wanted was on my 30th birthday, 30, flirty and thriving, whatever, that I would want to go on a romantic weekend away with my man. And I was very single at that age. And I was not dating. Like there was like, we had like 3 to 5 months. Like it just wasn't going to happen. Or I was choosing for it not to happen. Right. And I realized that that's why I was feeling down, because there was like this realization of a dream that wasn't going to come true. But then, because of the awareness, I reframed it and I was like, actually, hold up. My dream is to have a romantic getaway weekend at the beach for my 30th birthday. Now, who said that had to involve a man? And who said that I needed a man to do that for me? And back to what we're talking about, are you willing to do for yourself what you say you want a partner to do for you? And I wanted a partner who would plan an amazing weekend, romantic weekend away at the beach. And I was like, am I willing to do that for myself? So I ended up planning this super romantic, and romance doesn't have to be sexual or with your gendered partner or whatever. I was like, I could have a romantic weekend at the beach with my girls. And I planned this amazing weekend away, and I had 8 of my closest girlfriends come through, flying in from New York to California, coming in from all parts of California. And it actually ended up being really beautiful, because the thing is, most of my girlfriends were in relationships, but it was such a beautiful experience for them to like step away from the relationship and even the kids for a weekend and just have this amazing girls weekend. And so I was still able to create for myself that amazing romantic weekend getaway. And I was able to create that for my girls too. And that was like, I mean, I didn't consciously do it at the time, because also Self-Love Story didn't consciously exist at the time. But that was me creating for myself what I said a partner wanted to create for me. And because I was able to do that for myself and my girlfriends, it opened up my heart, and it opened me up to being able to receive more love from a partner. And when I started dating again later that year, the kind of men that I was attracting into my life, the kind of dating that I was attracting was some next level. It was like something that I had never experienced. Like ghosting, that was not a thing. Because why? I no longer ghosted myself. Unavailability, that wasn't a thing. Woo!
Whoa, say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Hold on, let me just say hi to Grady, Julian. Oh my gosh, so many people watching. Yvonne, what's up? I said ghosting was I said ghosting was not even a thing because I was no longer ghosting myself. What? What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No ghosty.
Because if I would have not had that romantic weekend, and if I had not, hey John, if I had not curated that for myself, that would have been me ghosting on myself. That would have been me betraying myself, you know, and betrayal
of self.
Exactly. Yes. Betrayal has been a theme in my life, in relationship, romantic and friendship. And when I had to get real with myself, because I was like, why is everyone betraying me? Why are these people da 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 da?
But what about
where am I betraying myself? Where am I betraying myself?
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers. If you're watching, cheers the screen, or 10 years bad sex.
Ooh, that's a curse. No, that's
cheers the screen right now.
Yo, you just that shit hit. Betrayal. Yo, let me tell you.
Dominique is watching. What? We're getting hearts. What? If you're here, please leave a comment. Let us know. All right.
There are some things I'm willing to do.
I'm like getting Asian glow right now.
There are some things I'm willing to do. Betraying myself is not one of them. Dude, the reason I am where I am is because I've never been willing to betray myself.
But what does that look like when you betray yourself? Cheers. Yes.
It means like.
What does that mean? Yeah.
For me, it's and it expands everywhere, right? Because I believe everything affects everything. I think for a lot of us, we like to compartmentalize our life, and that's just not how life works, right? So you can't have like family, and everything affects everything. Your work affects family, family affects your work. Everything affects everything in some way.
Yeah, health, well-being, it's all
interwebbed, interconnected. It's all an internal projection that comes out, right? So
Lauren, Nikki, hi Nikki. Don't get distracted. I'm just, shouting out the people tuning in.
I'm easily distracted.
Sorry, but we gotta say hello to the people joining.
You please do. I'm not because I can't see them. So that's what you're here for. Wow, I'm doing all this thing. I can see myself like 10 seconds back, and it's not a good thing. But it's all right. It's all right.
So betraying yourself, what does that look like or not look like?
For me, it has always been with work. And there's the reason why I'm an entrepreneur is because I'm not willing to work with someone I'm not willing to work with someone who will treat me as less than. I don't. If I'm gonna work for you, you're gonna treat me as an equal. You're not. And the moment you treat me as I am below you, I will, like, it's just instinctive. Like I don't accept that. I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah. Hi, Reese is watching. Well, here's the thing. I feel like the betrayal piece too is like sometimes we don't know when we're betraying ourselves because we're so conditioned to naturally betray ourselves in so many ways. Like back to what we were talking about, unavailability and ghosting. How many times do we still pine for someone who's literally ghosting us or literally shading us or whatever, right? And so that's also a way.
Not showing interest. Yeah.
Exactly. Or exactly. It doesn't have to be shade. It's just like not interested. Like he's just not that into you, or she's just not.
So you know what? I'm actually
betraying yourself to keep like.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna come out and be honest that I have betrayed myself when it comes to relationship, because I'm still like, DM, like sliding into DMs like, yo, what's up? So I also get to be like, you know what? That's not it. It's just not it.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, I don't want to be texting someone who's gonna assume I'm thirsty just because I like that, you know? And I feel like if you read, you know, the Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote The Four Agreements, great book, but also wrote The Mastery of Love.
Yeah.
And
Erica's about to comment on this.
Oh, really? So she read that? Yes, Nikki. Yes, Tyrese. About
Wait, what did I say, Nikki? I don't remember. What was it that I said? Amen to what? Because I need to see it.
Say, yeah, Nikki.
I hope she brings it up.
We're on a delay. Like, we're talking real time to ourselves, but then when everyone sees it, it's like the Super Bowl in case my titty pops
up. In case my pecs come out.
But,
Amen to what?
What were we saying?
We were saying a lot of things.
Betrayal.
Betrayal. Yes, no, but betrayal of self.
Yeah. Where you're still pursuing something where they're just not that into you. And
I guess I think the question that comes up for me is, where in your life are you betraying yourself? Are you not being true to yourself?
Yes.
Right? Where in your life are you not sharing your highest truth because you're afraid of how someone might receive it? Right? Yes. When you are afraid of how someone might receive it, then you are holding back who you really are. So in a sense, that in itself is a betrayal, because honestly, it's not up to you how someone receives something, right? You can't control that, right? So when we try to control something, when we try to control the circumstance because we don't want to seem a certain way, one, we're betraying ourselves, and two, we're holding the other person as like not
responsible for us feeling okay with ourselves,
and small, as if they can't handle our truth. And if they can't handle your truth, they can't handle your truth.
Y'all, the wine is officially hitting. So if you're drinking with us, let us know what you're drinking. Share your quarantini recipes. Okay, Ty says that we were talking about the book Mastery of Love. Oh yes, thank you, Ty. So in the book Mastery of Love,
I'm still enjoying the high of that moment.
You can enjoy it. I'm gonna keep going. I'm you know, because Beyonce had the best record of all time.
What the fuck? Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna let
all
you
time.
finish, but
all time.
Right, Nikki said, "Amen to working with people who treat you as an equal rather than as beneath them." Absolutely. Well, Nikki's an entrepreneur too, and I'm an entrepreneur too. So we're just kind of like, fuck that shit, right?
Yo, tell me this ain't the truth though. The entrepreneurship will teach you more about you than anything else.
Are you freaking kidding? Yes.
Hashtag struggle.
An entrepreneur is literally like, hi, I would like to enroll in the most difficult form of life school ever.
It's like jumping off with no parachute. Really. And expecting to fly.
Your soul.
At some point. It's like my wings are going to work at some point. I trust. That's it. That's really it. My wings are going to work at some point. They don't work right now.
It's the same with dating.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like if you like someone and you really jump and you just go all in. Ooh. So here's like
Nikki. Hold on, Nikki is drinking Stella and Rosé.
Yeah. Shit. Okay.
Nikki. She's crunk. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Mastery of Love. One of the things he says is like you can tell.
Wait, who's she? Mastery
Nikki?
of Love.
No, Mastery of Love is the book by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, okay, cool.
Same author of The Four Agreements. So one of the points that he makes is like you can tell what a certain culture or society is starving from when you listen to their songs, the subject of their song. He says, I don't remember exactly which tribe, but there's a tribe where all they sing about is like the rain and the water, and it's because they live in an area where there's a lot of drought, like a deserty area.
They live in California.
Right. And so for our society, most of our songs are about love and relationships. And it's because we're starving for that. And what he says is like, it's like, imagine we want touch so badly and we need touch to like connect and survive. Yet we have like these blisters all over us. So when we get it, we cringe. And it's like, to me, you know, like, I think that's how people react, like, because we're talking about ghosting and being unavailable, and how if you show too much interest, immediately you're thirsty, and thirsty is a bad thing. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm fucking thirsty. Like, I need love. I need attention. And back to like, is it needy or is it needing? And we need love and attention. And for me, like I said, what's wrong with that? And do I want to really talk to someone or date someone who is going to assume that I'm thirsty, or look down on the fact that I'm openly admitting and willing to be vulnerable to need love and affection? Then the answer to that is no. And that's where the betrayal, I'm like connecting dots. Like, so, Malbec is helping me connect.
Malbec is helping you? Okay. You're telling yourself that.
Rude.
I know. So I had this conversation with a friend. It's the same friend. So I was telling her, this is actually the best time to date.
Hi. Yeah, this is the best time to date. So yeah, let's talk about this weekend.
I told her, like, yo, during like these times, like, this is the best time to date. And obviously, like, the reason why it's the best time to date is because if someone wants to date and she's like, oh, but what if people only want to date it because they feel lonely and like whatever? And I'm like, well, if someone is able to be vulnerable enough to like let you know that this is how they feel, that's actually not a bad thing. One. Two, if you are virtually dating, you're actually wanting to get to know someone, and it above being physical. So you're actually getting to know someone, because you're not going to talk to
someone's company.
Damn, that was bad. But you're not gonna be able to physically with someone. So if you're dating, you're genuinely looking to connect with someone. And I'm not saying that that's the case 100%, but that's I believe that if at least me, I have the intention to connect with someone. This is the reason why I'm going into these virtual dating spaces, because I want to get to know someone. I want to connect with someone. This is actually the best time to start dating, because there's that boundary.
Rush into the physical too soon. That there has to actually be an emotional heart-to-heart connection. Nikki agrees.
Absolutely.
With us. Ty says this book sounds fascinating. It totally is. That book revolutionized my romantic relationship life.
I need you to share the book.
Jameek wants us to touch him, and Ron too. That's
Jameek, I remember.
Diane. Wait, oh my God, so many people. Nancy, Jake. Hey guys. Hey everybody. Join the
club. So Ron Saki said, especially right now, we need touch.
Well,
so,
and actually, like I said, I work with a lot of singles, and a lot of them were like, oh, because one of the things that I do when I work with singles is I help them create like a dating plan, and then I help them work on the self-love piece and the not betraying yourself piece. Basically,
hold on.
Yes.
Yeah. What does a dating plan look like?
So thank you. I will talk. So we work on that. And so with a few of my clients, we were at that point where we were like, okay, we worked on the inner work, the self-love. Let's like get you out there dating with your dating plan. And then boom, this quarantine hit. And almost all of them were like, well, now my dating plan is messed up. And I was like, well, why? Now is a great time to stay on the apps, like find some virtual speed dating. This is the time to really flex those emotional muscles that we've been working on when we've been doing all the self-love stuff. So
you know what I said? I said, like, yo, people are still in community. People are still raising funds. People are still meeting with their families. People are still educating themselves. People are still
why not keep dating?
Creating businesses. What makes you think dating is off, right? Like, it's all part of the full experience of being a human, especially now that you realize that, especially now that you need touch. This is the time when you really want to connect and be yourself and start to, and I think this is the perfect piece that I think for a lot of people attach themselves to someone. And right now, you basically can't attach yourself to someone, right? Because a lot of us like get into a relationship and it becomes physical, and now you become attached to that person physically, you can kind of bypass that and you can just get to meet some. What would it look like if you were just to meet people and it wasn't with an agenda of like being with someone, and and you actually get to know someone and build a relationship with them and build a friendship with them, and then see if a partnership where it wasn't with all that stuff, like it didn't have to be heavy where, you know, now you have to be with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like when you take away someone's choice, you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. That's the thing, right? Once that's out the window, like there's no need to have someone who doesn't want to be with you. You don't want that. At all. Not even a little bit.
Comments about the dating plans, which you asked me about. You're like, what does a dating plan look like? So it's just,
that sounds intriguing.
It is. And I work with my clients to create dating plans. And it's just, you know, with a nutritional plan, it's like, you know, based on your body type.
You gotta do 5 reps of meeting people.
Exactly. Well, no, seriously though. Cause so for me, like, for example, one thing could be for someone who gets attached too quickly and like latches all of their self-worth on one person, part of that plan will be like, okay, well, we might need to have a few people in that rotation so that you can spread your love and not be so focused on just one person, because we know that one of your things is that you get attached too quickly. So it really is a customized dating plan, just like a customized nutrition plan is based on like your body type, your blood type, whatever. I don't know. That's your expertise, right? But so for me, your dating plan is.
I love how you're trying to relate it to me. It's like
I'm related to you because I'm talking to you and I care about
no, you do. So wait, Shamik says we need to get on a Zoom call together soon, and I do believe in that. We should do like a whole like
a community
Zoom call, self-love quarantine community thing. So that would be amazing.
Yes.
Nikki's like dating plans. Yes, girl. Snap. Just letting you know. So keep going.
Yeah. So and then another thing is like, especially like a lot of people. Well, let me not say a lot of people, but some people that I work with, they'll have sex way too soon. And so just like with a dating, a nutrition plan, or I don't know, if like some people have like a cheat day. Like, so for me, it's like, okay, well, you don't, and the thing about a dating plan is you don't have to follow it to the T. It's just kind of like a structure for you that's put in place based on like your emotional like idiosyncrasies and stuff, right? So if I'm working with someone who tends to like have sex too soon before they even know how they feel about them because they have a conditioning around using sex to prove to the person how much they should be with them, right? And obviously this happens after a lot of deep inner self-love work before we even create the dating plan, right? And so for me, it's like, okay, well, then we need to have like a time, like, you know, you're not going to have sex on the first date. Like that'll be like part of the dating plan. And it's like, okay, you can think about having sex by like whatever date. And again, well, I don't like being so rigid. So it's not like you have to follow it directly, but it's like,
and also,
yeah.
And I think that depends on the intention.
Exactly.
Right. So if a guy, if she sees that or whatever, I'm going to say if they see that this isn't more than what it is and it's a physical thing, go for it. I believe, right? So
well,
I believe.
You pose a good point, because again, like back to nutrition plans and stuff, what's your goal? So a lot of my clients will be like, oh, but so I can't just like hook up or whatever, but what if I want to? And so a lot of the work that I have to do with them is like helping them be real with themselves. Because here's the thing, I don't discriminate. Like you can be polyamorous, you can be whatever sexuality, whatever gender. But my goal, like my gift that I bring to people when I work with them is what I call the knife of clarity. And I can call bullshit on a lot of things. And that's a big reason why people work with me, is because I will lovingly call bullshit. And especially with a lot of the people that I work with, their bullshit is, oh, but I just want to hook up and I just want to have fun. And I'm like, but do you though? And usually it's no. And so for that, we have to put that piece of the dating plan in place where it's like, stop having sex on the first date. Like, just don't do it, or like withhold as much as you can, because there's these, and a lot of people know too, I work with the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind will put you on this autopilot, right? It'll put you on this autopilot where you're attracting or being attracted to unavailable people, where you're attracting people who only want to sleep with you and don't want your heart. And so we've got to interrupt that habit. And the dating plan is in place in order for you to stop doing those things. And here's the thing, people don't work with me until they're ready to like have that pattern interrupt. And I say that straight up. I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm not going to fix your life. You're going to do all the work, but I'm going to be the one that's here with the knife of clarity to like slash your bullshit. And if you don't want your bullshit slashed, then don't even bother. And it's like, it's true, because you know, there's so much emotion involved with dating. And it's like, if you're not ready to really change, like, you want partnership, and you haven't been able to get it thus far. So obviously the shit that you're doing, the dating plan that you're currently on, is not working. And you're gonna come to me to wield my knife of clarity with love and compassion.
Girl,
of course.
Yo, you just
lash that shit.
Yo, I was like, yo, I don't just want to have sex. Like, fuck that shit.
That's what I'm saying. And like, see, and here's the thing too. And when I work with my clients, I speak from experience. Because trust me, for the longest time, I was like, I'm an independent, whatever, I'm going to do it. But like, after a few times of doing the one night stand thing, like, it's just not cutting it. And I'm like, look, you came to, like, you want partnership. It takes time to get to know someone, to know if they are even worthy of entering your sacred temple. Okay. And so if that's like, you got to build that muscle before giving it up too soon, or before letting people in too soon. And I do get from my clients like, oh, but what about my needs? What about da-da? It's like, that's just a freaking construct.
Yeah.
That's
and you can also,
yeah.
You can also, I like the idea of delaying pleasure, delaying what you,
edging. If you're talking about female orgasm, we call that edging.
Edging?
Where you take yourself just there and then you scale it back, and then you do it again, and then you scale it back, because then the payoff in the long run. I don't know if that's how it is for men, because I have a woman's body, so I don't know. But
I agree with that.
You can't have ice cream for dinner and be healthy, Ty says. Yes, Queen, Shamik says. You have to be real with yourself, Nancy says. Absolutely. And that's why, you know, with me and with myself and with my clients, I wield that knife of clarity, and it comes from love, because I feel like social conditioning has us believing a lot of lies about what we want. Media out there has us over-sexing ourselves, sexualizing ourselves to the point of exhaustion and betrayal and just not satisfaction. And so for me, it's like, I would rather be penetrated mentally, intellectually, and emotionally before sexually. And that takes time. Okay?
Ron says, oh no, she didn't. We call it edging too.
We do? Okay, good. Okay, I thought so. But I can't speak for that, so thank you. We got some likes and hearts for that. I keep going on many first dates. I need a second date. Ooh, Shamik, we need to talk about that one. I wonder what that's about. Knife of clarity, yes. Oh my gosh, Ron. Self-love in quarantine might be NSF Zoom. Well, we'll put together a little virtual, I think, Felix, we need to do a few more of these, build the community more, and then we can do a Zoom with all of us, like a little community gathering. That'd be super cool.
Then we could do like a Facebook group. I don't know.
Shoot!
I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah, and that barefoot has hit a long time.
Yeah, that barefoot is hitting hard. I'm actually like trying to remember an idea that I had.
That should make me a little turned on hearing that. That's good. I love penetrating people intellectually.
That's the best.
Quarantine boyfriends, bad idea, crash and burn. So yeah, so what else? We talked about betrayal, we talked about a lot of things. So
Therese is like, count me in.
It's kind of like, we talked about a lot of different topics, but it's kind of like, okay, what the hell is up with you? So what I have to say to that, and what I say to all my clients, is whatever it is you're complaining about in your love life, that's something there. There's something there to look for in you. And that can be a variety of things depending on what you're complaining about. So we did talk about the complaining about the ghosting and every guy or every person ends up being married or has a girlfriend or is in a relationship or is ghosting. All of that is just unavailability, right? So with me, with my knife of clarity, I'm like, okay, tell me your relationship history, tell me your complaint. And I'll be like, boom, unavailability. So you are choosing and attracting unavailable people. So how do we translate that to self-love? How are you choosing and being unavailable to yourself? Back to what we said, how are you ghosting yourself? How are you unavailable to yourself? Right? The other thing we talked about, I know you like that one, Felix. You like that one.
I feel it in my soul.
Yeah, it's in the soul. The knife of clarity gets through the soul. So again, like I say to people all the time, when they say they want to work with me, I'm like, are you ready for the knife of clarity? And only people who are ready can do it. But the other thing we talked about was betrayal, right? Oh, people, I keep getting cheated on or whatever. And it's like, how are you betraying yourself? Now, that's not always an easy question to answer, but there is some certain level of that. Now, let's even talk about something else that just popped into my head, and so it's telling me we need to talk about it.
Let's do it.
In dating, we often have unconscious and harsh judgments about relationships, romance, or the gender that we're attracted to. For example, as a straight female woman, I'm attracted to straight men. I used to have this belief that there are no good men, or all men cheat, or the only thing men want is sex. Now, if I'm operating in the world as a single lady thinking that the only thing men want is sex, but I want sex and emotion, like all the penetrations, but all they want is physical penetrations, how am I going to operate in that world?
You want the trinity of penetration.
I want the holy trinity of penetration, okay?
Yeah, if the
I believe
physical, mental, spiritual.
Exactly. If I believe that all men only want physical, then how am I going to operate in a dating world? I'm going to operate from a place of this is not possible for me. And that's going to create a whole bunch of chaos, right? And this is why I created the 5 deceptions, which I'm not going to go into because you have to download the PDF for that.
Hold on. There's 5 deceptions? 5 deceptions? That's a lot of deceptions.
So in all the relationship work that I've done, I've categorized the main roadblocks to the love life that you want into 5 deceptions. And I promise you, like, I've worked with hundreds of people on romantic relationships, and I can always put it in one of the 5 deceptions. I've worked on, this is my life's work, okay? Downloadable, available on my website.
Shamik is like, what are the 5 deceptions? And Shamik also asked, why am I attracted to unavailable men even though I know I hate them?
I mean, like I said, it always
hate is a very strong emotion.
I'm putting my website here so y'all could download the 5 deceptions.
Yeah.
It's on here, ameliafortes.com. I just changed my name.
Shamik is all about it.
Download the 5 deceptions. No, it's a really good, like, honestly, again, I wasn't planning on like promoting anything, but like I put a lot of heart and soul into that PDF, and it's one of the things I created that I'm so proud of. So download.
They asked for it. Give them what they want.
Damaris is here. Nancy. Okay, so Shamik, I'll tell you what the 5 deceptions are, but I won't go into them because you have to read about them and it's a lot. And we did actually cover a lot of them. So the first one is denying your true desires, right? So on some level, if you're not creating or attracting what it is you want, on some level, you're denying what you really want. Now, there's a whole lot of shit that goes with that. But that's the first thing. It's kind of like what we were talking about, how, oh, I just want to have sex and I just want to have fun, when it's like, no, baby girl, you want partnership. You don't want to just exactly. And I've done that to myself. The second one is unhealthy power play. So on some level, you either think you're too good for, ego, or not good enough, also ego, for what you want. And so therefore there's not a vibrational match. So you have this unhealthy power play going on. Deception number 3 is energetic entanglement with the past. That's the deep, deep shit that only the knife of clarity can cut through.
That's your story. That's your story.
But yeah, exactly. That's your story. It's your energetic entanglements with the past, starting from family of origin all the way through all of your relationships. And that's why I ask for relationship history when I work with my clients, because I will take my knife of clarity and just... and so we work with the energetic entanglements. Number 4 is unconscious and harsh judgments of self and others. We talked a little bit about that today. And number 5 is checklists over values. Now that one is one of my favorite ones because that one mind fucks literally everybody.
Oh, that's tough.
Because we are out here dating and making choices.
I gotta be married by 30. I gotta do this by this.
Exactly. This checklist, not only that with your life goals, but also with your partner. Like, how many times have I heard the phrase, oh, she or he ticks all my boxes? And I'm like, well, what are these boxes? And here's the thing. These boxes are temporary.
There's one box.
Eat the box, but...
Okay.
Okay, we're officially NSF Facebook.
NSFW. Yeah, not beautiful.
Family
it's 10 o'clock, so we can do that.
Self-love activation guide. Yes, Nikki. This is the self-love activation guide. The 5 deceptions are in the self-love activation guide for romance and relationships. And checklist over values is one of my favorite things to teach about. And it's so funny. Whenever I work with a client or in a group program, that's the first thing that I teach, because I promise you it takes the whole time for them to learn it and then some. Like, I have clients that I've been working with for over a year, and we're still learning this concept of checklists and values, because it's such a diversion from social conditioning. It's a really simple concept, but it's such a diversion from social conditioning, because instead of choosing people from this checklist of big dick, tall, whatever the fuck, right?
Hold on, what? No.
We got values.
I want to say, I also want to say that
about this shit, I'm telling you.
I want to say that a year may sound...
Yes.
I want to say that a year may sound like a long time, but relatively it is not. Because to unlearn what you've learned in 30 years is going to take more than a year. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of time. A year it goes by really fast.
Yeah.
Listen, we're already in April. We're about to go to May.
It's true.
This year is blowing by. Let's be real.
Yeah. No, you're right. And thank you for saying, but yeah, so it's the checklist over values deception number 5. I mean, that is the one. And honestly, that's the foundational one. And it takes people a while to really get it, but when they really get it, it really freaking works to it makes dating so much easier, because you're able to instead of putting them through the checklist filter, you put them through the values filter, and it's just boom, done. Okay, I'll keep dating you. Done. Shamik says it takes so long to figure out someone's values. But it doesn't take that long to figure out your values. And what I'm speaking to is you want to choose people from your values. So the minute that you're dating someone and you can see that there's especially a non-negotiable value, so for example, for me, a non-negotiable value is family. And so the minute I hear someone talking shit about their family, it's just kind of like, I can't fuck with you. If you hate your family, like, I can't. If you hate your family, or if you don't want to create a family, like that, like, what?
No, yeah.
You're like Lone Ranger hermit in the cave. Like, that's just not.
Yeah.
Like, I need someone that wants to create community and family. And it doesn't have to, like, a lot of us have fucked up family lives. So that's where the checklist comes from. Checklist is like, you love your mom, you're close with your siblings, whatever. For me, the value of family is beyond the checklist of family. So if you value community, like, because someone could have had a really fucked up family life, but if you've got like a community,
like me,
that you're really passionate about, and and you value the creation of that community and that family, then that to me is a values-based choosing versus like the checklist of you're best friends with your mom. I mean, like, what if your mom sucks, or you're like, mom can suck. Like, what if she's not alive? Like, you know, so how that checklist piece can easily be cut off. But if you value connection and family and community, now that's something I could fuck with. Like, that way I'm not judging you for your life experience, but I'm choosing you based on what your heart wants and what your heart says.
Can I ask,
this is free content for days, y'all. You're welcome.
What was the fourth one?
Unconscious and harsh judgment of self and others. And we talked a little bit about that, about how, like, am I looking at myself and loving myself? And that's where, you know, we have those things where all men are dogs. And if you were taught that growing up, or what I said was the only thing men want is sex. But if I want more than sex, and I'm operating from an operating system of men only want sex, that's ultimately like a self-defeating prophecy.
So I want to ask this, because I think this is good to get into.
Erica is watching it. Okay.
Jessica Loman's watching it.
Both of you are great. Damn, Leo.
I want to ask this. I want to ask this. Do you agree with this? There's always going to be a part of you that is going to run on automatic. You can't always 100% control your consciousness. Do you agree with that or not? I feel like it would be arrogant for me to say that I am 100%. Like, there are just things that at some times just run as a system, just run automatically. And I'm not going to always be 100% in control. So I read this book called The Quantum Warrior, and it says that the consciousness is the gatekeeper to the unconscious. So you can actually train your subconscious mind through your consciousness. So it happens when you become aware of what your subconscious is doing, then you can actually reframe it. You can reprogram it. But actually your subconscious always runs, right? So if I go into a meeting and they're talking about perfumes, whatever I know about perfumes is just gonna it's just gonna zip through. So there are things that I'm always gonna be automatic about, and it's things that I can't control. It's just in my human nature. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, your mind is a combination of the subconscious and the conscious, and the subconscious runs like 88%. So there's no eliminating that. And actually, Jessica had a really good point. Yes, but you can catch it sooner, and the better that you get at knowing yourself. And then Shamik says meditation can also unlock your subconscious mind. But to your point, yes, it would be arrogant and egotistical to say, like, oh, I'm in total control. But here's the thing, that's the point of being a spiritual being, having a human experience, right? Like, our higher self can be like la 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 whatever, but we're still freaking human. And then that just goes back to self-love. Like, do we love our human selves in all the ugliness, the darkness, the shadow, blah 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 blah, right? The subconscious shit autopilot that takes us down really bad roads.
So this is the other question, right? So
we're like way over an hour.
I don't care right now. I don't care
because no, but you cared last time. You were like, "Hello, we're at 30 minutes." So
fuck that. So she said yes, but you can catch it sooner the better you get at knowing yourself.
Yes.
Now the question is, who is yourself? Who are you really? Right? Because who are
the next
we
episode.
really? No, like, who is yourself? Because to me, like, so I said this to my therapist, and I was like, yo, I feel like I'm a character, right? So I get to, in this world, I get to know myself. And the truth is, if I don't get to know myself, I don't really know what myself actually needs or want. So in a sense, like, I'm not just myself. I'm this character playing this role. And I hope I'm not losing y'all. Like, I inherited all these behaviors and ideas about life, and that's who I was. I became this character who was Felix. But now I'm understanding who I am in the grander scheme, and that I'm part of the collective consciousness, and I'm not just Felix, right? So I get to redefine my story, not by how I see myself, but how I see the world. So that's like a whole thing. Like, who am I? Am I just me, or am I just or am I part of the collective? Right? Who truly am I? Do I get to choose that? Because who I was and who I am is not the same person. I can say that with full confidence because
well, actually, we talked about it the other day, because you were like, well, we both were saying, I think when we got off the live, we started talking about how we're in a constant state of creation. And
yes.
And we also talked about how questions are what open up the gateway to new possibility. So it's when you ask the question, who am I, that then opens up the possibility for creation and the avenue for new things, versus saying, I am this is how I am. And we talked about this on Monday on our last live stream, where it's like, if you're just saying I am this, or like I'm broke, or I'm selfish, or I have trust issues. I mean, that's the one.
Then that you are. Exactly. Because you defined it.
Versus I choose to be in a constant state of creation. I choose to create more trust. I choose to be a person who can be a good partner, who wants a partnership, who can attract a good partner. So I choose all these things. And one of the things, so I did a few seduction of spirit retreats at the Chopra Center. And one of the things that Deepak Chopra constantly says is like, who am I? And he opens up the conversation with like, who am I? Where is I? Point to I, like where is that? And when we do our daily, twice a day actually, meditations, one of the questions we meditate on is, who am I? And also a workshop that I did, one of the exercises is like, who are you? And for me, there's so many answers that can come from that. But for me, what I take from that is whatever the fuck I say in this moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
I love what Shamik said. Shamik said, you are the observer who is watching your egoic mind. And he quoted Eckhart Tolle, which I love.
Bye, Ty. Thank you so much for being here. Totally join us next time. We'll announce it. Just keep it locked here on Facebook. We're always announcing when we're doing the next thing. Hey, Maron. Jessica says, who you are. That adjusts and changes some factors, but your core, you always come back to it, and you begin to accept your core and decide how you let that impact you and how you appear in the world. And then Nancy asked, is it like putting yourself in a box and limiting oneself? I think she's referring to when we just make a statement about ourselves. And then yes, like if I say I have trust issues, I have trust issues.
You have trust issues.
Exactly. I have trust issues, so it's tough for me to open up to someone. Boom. Like,
and that's what
that's it.
I believe that we declare who we are in the moment that we declare it. So if I say I have trust issues, then I have trust issues.
In that moment.
And that's what I'll experience.
But then you can easily say in the next moment, I'm open to trusting more, or I'm open to learning. I don't know. I'm open to being vulnerable.
And discovering, right? Because it all depends where you are. Because I feel like there's a unlimited continuum in which from where you are is where you get to take the steps to move whichever way you're moving.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a right or left or front or back. There's just, you're just moving a certain way, and that's it.
Yeah.
So a belief can definitely limit you in the sense that whatever you believe is what you will live. Like, you will live whatever you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
You will be and live whatever you believe in.
Believe.
What?
Did you mean to do?
Yeah, I did. I've actually worked on that.
So
that was actually.
Yeah. Did you work on that? Did you write? Is that in your notes?
I did. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been like way over an hour.
Way too long.
And
so we're gonna cut it off, right?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up now. But thank you so much all for joining and having your comments and asking your questions. When do we think we're gonna be back? This weekend, probably. So we have
Friday or Saturday. Friday or Saturday. Or Saturday.
Well, actually, so I'm doing a live on Friday with so my friends Ace Lab. What's up, Will Ace? What's up, Francis Lab? They are having their YouTube series launch on 420 for their show Higher Learning. Yep. So it's nice. Show Higher Learning, which is basically
Higher Learning.
Yes.
That sounds fun. Okay.
So they've had 3 seasons of podcasts, and I was on season 1, episode 7. And basically it's put the high in higher learning, and it's where cannabis meets spirituality. And it's really about creating a space for Asian, queer, and their allies to openly express, and also to be an advocate for destigmatizing cannabis and the uses of cannabis, and especially with people of color, specifically Asian, LGBTQIA plus Asians. And so I've been on season 1, episode 7 of their podcast, which is on iTunes and all of that stuff. But season 4 is coming out on 420. And so they're having it on YouTube and WeedTube. So WeedTube is like where, whatever, but YouTube. So I don't know what episode I'm going to be on, but they're having the launch on 420, where there's going to actually be, I think, 5 healers, and I'm one of them. So I'm going to be doing a self-love healing and oracle reading. They're going to be opening up with a Maganja meditation. So it's going to be on 420 live on Zoom somewhere. And so on Friday, I'm actually going to go live with them, and we're going to talk about their show. We're going to talk about destigmatizing cannabis. So same time, I think. Where am I going live on Friday? Let me check. So on Friday, we're going live same time as this Zoom. So 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m.
9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. And definitely pop on. And they're probably going to smoke. I don't have anything to smoke, but actually maybe we can't on Facebook, but we're just going to talk about their show. And they put so much love and attention and care into what they create. And I'm really excited to see their YouTube show. So I was doing a mukbang with them. So I don't know what episode that's going to be, but and we were talking about self-love and all of that. They were also a guest on my podcast, which my podcast is Courageous Self-Love on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of that. And their episode, I don't remember what number, but their episode is Self-Love and Cannabis. And so they actually talk me through destigmatizing cannabis and all of my prejudices against it. And it's just a really beautiful show where cannabis meets spirituality. So it's an opportunity for us to join and talk about that. So that's on Friday. And then Felix and I will probably be back on Saturday or Sunday. Maybe we should go before the virtual dating thing, because I think I'm going to be tired after that to go live.
We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it.
We'll figure it out. But we'll be live back this weekend. But on Friday, catch me in Ace Lab talking self-love and cannabis. And good night, Jess. Good night, Nancy. Thanks for the great comment. Good night, EJ. Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining. If you're catching this as a replay, give us a hashtag replay. Still interact with us. We always check the comments. But we'll see you soon this weekend. And we'll have to do a community Zoom.
Yeah.
Private.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. as we go.
Yeah, and keep giving us your ideas on ways you think we can make this better, because we're definitely going to keep this going. Things that you like, things that you don't like. But yeah, thanks for joining so much. Keep it locked right here. Turn all your notifications on. Follow me, friend me, whatever you got to do. This is where we're going to be. All right. Love y'all. Bye.
Peace.